Imagine standing on a battlefield where a single decision, a single arrow, a single moment of courage could change the destiny of the entire world. Imagine watching history tilt forever because a few thousand soldiers refused to retreat, or because one brilliant commander saw what no one else could. Today, we're diving into the real story of the most influential battles in human history, the ones that didn't just decide who won or lost, but shaped nations, cultures, religions, and the entire future of humanity. These are the battles that echo even today, and once you hear the truth behind them, the world will never look the same again. Let's go back to a time when the fate of Western civilization hung by a thread. The Battle of Marathon in 490 BC wasn't just a clash between Greeks and Persians. It was a moment when democracy itself stood face to face with a massive empire. Imagine 10,000 Athenians, ordinary farmers and craftsmen, running full force against an army 3 times their size. No one believed they could win, but against all odds, they did, and their victory kept Greek culture alive long enough to shape philosophy, science, art, and politics. Without Marathon, there may never have been Socrates, Plato, or Aristotle. No more democracy. No more Western world as we know it. Now jump forward over 1,000 years to a cold October morning in England. Two powerful armies faced each other at the Battle of Hastings. The fate of England, its language, its kings, and its entire identity depend on a single day. Norman knights charge uphill, arrows fly, and King Harold falls. That moment didn't just end a battle, it transformed the English language, fused cultures, and laid the foundation for modern Britain. And with Britain's future influence on the world, you could say that day in 1066 shaped global history more than people realize. But history's most influential battles weren't always about the biggest armies. Sometimes, influence came from desperation. The Battle of Agincourt in 1415 was a miracle crafted by Mood, Wizard, and the unstoppable English longbow. Imagine tens of thousands of Friend knights in shining armor charging into a storm of arrows. The battlefield turned to mud, horses collapsed, and heavily armored soldiers drowned in the muck. A small, exhausted English army achieved the impossible. Agincourt wasn't just a victory, it changed warfare, proving that skill and strategy could defeat sheer numbers. But if we want to talk about battles that redirected the entire direction of civilization, we must travel to the scorching sands near the Egyptian town of Ain Jalut in 1260. The unstoppable Mughal Empire, the terror of the world, finally met its match against the Mamluks. Until this battle, every kingdom the Mongols touched had fallen like fragile glass. Their empire stretched from Korea to Europe. They seemed invincible, but at Ain Jalut, they were defeated for the very first time. That victory saved the Middle East, halted Mongol expansion, and changed world power forever. Without Ain Jalut, the map of today would be unrecognizable. But not all influential battles were fought with swords and arrows. Some battles reshaped humanity because they broke the spirit of empires. The Battle of Constantinople in 1453 wasn't just the fall of a city, it was the end of the Byzantine Empire and the birth of the modern world. Cannons thundered, walls crumbled, and for the first time, gunpowder proved unstoppable. This moment ended the Middle Ages and launched the Renaissance, scientific progress, and new global exploration. One city's fall became the spark for a new era. Now picture the battlefield of Waterloo in 1815. Rain pours from the sky. Napoleon Bonaparte, the man who conquered Europe and rewrote warfare, faces his final challenge. The ground is soaked, cannon wheels sink into mud, soldiers slip as they charge. A single miscalculation, a single delay, and everything collapses. Napoleon loses, and the old order of Europe is restored. Waterloo didn't just end a war, it rebalanced global power, shaped diplomacy, and set the stage for the next century. But some battles influenced humanity by fighting for freedom itself. Picture the American Revolution. The Battle of Yorktown in 1781 was the moment when a fragile new nation proved it could defeat an empire. British troops stood surrounded, hopeless. At that moment, the world witnessed the birth of a new power, one that would go on to shape global culture, economics, politics, and technology. Without Yorktown, the United States as we know it wouldn't exist. Yet the most influential battles aren't always those glorified in textbooks. Some of the world's greatest turning points stayed hidden beneath fear and suffering. The Battle of Stalingrad during World War II wasn't just a military victory, it was humanity's breaking point. A frozen city turned into a graveyard of rubble. Soldiers fought hand-to-hand for every staircase, every hallway, every ruined room. Temperatures dropped below freezing, supplies ran out, but the Soviet resistance held. Stalingrad wasn't simply a victory, it marked the moment when Hitler's unstoppable war machine began to crumble. The world turned in that frozen, blood-soaked city. Another crucial turning point came in the Pacific, the Battle of Midway. A handful of American aircraft carriers faced the full might of the Japanese Navy, which until then had seemed unbeatable. But through skill, strategy, and almost unbelievable luck, the U.S. dealt Japan a devastating blow. 4 Japanese carriers burned in the ocean. The tide of the Pacific War changed forever. Midway wasn't just a battle, it was the moment when global power shifted dramatically. And then there is the battle that saved Europe from one of the most feared empires in history. The Battle of Tours in ke-732. Charos. Martel and his Frankish warriors stood against a massive invading force from the Umayyad Caliphate. If they lost, Europe's religious and cultural direction could have changed completely, but their victory halted the expansion and preserved the continent's future. For centuries, historians have argued that this battle shaped not just Europe, but the entire world's religious landscape. But influence isn't only about territory or government. Some battles influenced the thoughts, emotions, and identities of whole civilizations. The Battle of Thermopylae is a perfect example. A mere 300 Spartans, along with a few thousand allies, held a narrow pass against the massive Persian army. They knew they would die. They fought anyway. Their sacrifice became the symbol of resistance against impossible odds. Thermopylae didn't change borders, it changed the way humanity understands courage. And then there is the battle that united Japan. The Battle of Sekigahara in ke-1600. It wasn't just a victory for Tokugawa Ieyasu. It marked the end of centuries of civil war and the beginning of a stable era that would shape Japanese culture, government, and society for 250 years. A single day created an entire age. When we look at these battles together, one thing becomes clear. History isn't shaped by the strongest empires or the deadliest weapons. It's shaped by moments when human decisions, bravery, mistakes, and chance collide. Imagine a commander hesitating for just 1 second. A single, small moment could change everything. And again, across 5,000 years of warfare, it did. The most influential battles in human history are not just stories about soldiers and kings. They're stories about us, about what people fight for. Behind every clash is a reason. Freedom, power, survival, belief, desperation, destiny. And when you look deeper, you realize something powerful. Every battle that shaped history happened because human beings refused to accept the world as it was. They fought to reshape it. Some sparked new religions, new philosophies, new technologies. Each one made a son. Hastings, Agincourt, Angelut, Constantinople, Waterloo, Yorktown, Stalingrad, Midway, Tours, Thermopylae, Sekigahara left marks that still exist in our world today. Our governments, even our beliefs are echoes of these moments. And here is the truth that will stay with you long after this video ends. The world you live in right now is not an accident. It is the final chapter of thousands of battles fought by people who never knew your name, but shaped your destiny anyway. If this journey into the most influential battles of human existence made you see history differently, if it made you feel the weight of the past, the power of human decisions, and the drama hidden behind every map, then make sure you subscribe right now. Because this channel is where history finally comes alive. Where forgotten stories, hidden truths, and world-changing events are revealed in ways you've never experienced before. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join thousands of others who want real history, not the boring textbook fashion. This video is just the beginning. The next story might change everything you think you know.